and handsome gents, I'm so glad you're here with me today. I have a very, very special fragrance to share with you. Come on now. That's what we're all here for, right? To dance. Okay, this is called L'heure Bleue. This fragrance is really special to me for a lot of reasons. I'll tell you first of all, the first time I ever smelled this fragrance was on someone I worked with. I think it was the very first job I ever had when I was 14. I worked at a doll museum, and one of the ladies who worked there was the owner's sister-in-law, and she was like in her late 80s, I think, and she was still very beautiful, and she wore her makeup, and they all said, oh, Louise was so beautiful, she was so beautiful. And she had this, this drawl. She's actually what my little character Mitzi is based off of, the voice. But she was from Louisiana, and her name was Louise, and she was wearing this. She walked into the doll museum one day, and I was like, obviously I love fragrance. I didn't know how much I love fragrance when I was 14, but, and I was like just completely mesmerized, and I asked her what it was, and she was like, that's Guerlain's Blue Hour. And I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. So that was my first experience really with Guerlain. I'd heard of Shalimar and stuff like that. So anyhow, flash forward to, I don't know, about 10 years later, I think. No, something like that. I worked for Guerlain as a rotator rep, and you go around to different stores in Orange County and in Los Angeles stores. And I just always felt like it was such and I also did the same thing for Oscar de la Renta, which was a different company with a number of different fragrances. But when I worked for Guerlain, it was just for Guerlain. So I got to know not all. Saying you got to know all Guerlain fragrances is like, you must be fibbing at least a little bit, because it would be very difficult to know all the Guerlain fragrances. And they're still going strong. But this fragrance, it's a nice, soft, powdery, it's very classy. It's like, it smells like perfume. It smells like women's perfume. It doesn't smell gourmand, or it doesn't smell, really, really spicy, or it just smells like a beautiful woman's fragrance. So, let me see, what else did I want to tell you about it? Okay. Do you know of Guerlain fragrances, by the way? You probably do. You probably know at least Shalimar. You probably know, there's so many. You know what? There's so many new ones it's been decades since I worked for this company. And all the fragrances that have come out in all those years since, I don't even know. I'm ignorant now. I'm Guerlain ignorant. But, not really. The older stuff, and that they still make. So I bought this recently, and I am very, very pleased to say it still smells the same to me. It smells exactly the same. So there are a lot of famous people who have worn this one. So I wanted to start off by telling you who some of them are and were. Okay. Are you having fun today? I hope you're having fun. I'm very glad that you came to visit me today. Do you know Guerlain fragrances? Please write down any Guerlain fragrances that you know of, or your mom, or your, someone in your family, or A good or bad experience? I'm curious to know. Please write it down below, because I have a personal past with Guerlain, and I just think they're top notch always. I don't love every fragrance they make, but I can smell every fragrance they make, and I can smell love. I mean, that sounds funny, but I feel like I can smell love. So, yeah. Okay. So, famous people who wear it. According to perfumescelebitieswear.com. That's a pretty interesting website. I'll just go through them kind of quickly. Catherine Deneuve, famous French female actor. Jade Jagger. Kate Moss. Kate Moss. Letitia Halliday. Patricia Arquette. Romy Schneider. Terry Garr. Tyra Banks. Ursula Andress. Do you know who Ursula Andress was? She was one of the first, she might be the first Bond girl. Yeah, really gorgeous woman. Really gorgeous, like sort of this, I don't know, this really kitten, very Bridget Bardot. If you don't know who she is, I'm sorry, Ursula, if that's like, I'm comparing Ursula to, she might be like, I don't want you to compare me to. Anyways, okay, Ursula Andress, Wallace Simpson, and Wendy Wasserstein. And one more. Rest in peace, Queen Elizabeth II. It was one of her favorite fragrances. Although Creed lays claim to the Queen because I believe that they made, I don't know exactly how they did it or what the deal is, but somehow I think they created a rose fragrance that was, by special, appointment to the Queen. I think it was one of those things. So, but L'heure Bleue was one that she wore, along with a lot of other really awesome ones that are some of my favorites. I was like, wow, it's kind of cool that I must have decent taste if I love some of the same fragrances that the Queen likes. But I mean, so another spray, and honestly, I would have to say though, this smells a bit like a mature woman's fragrance. It doesn't really smell like something that you would smell on a younger woman or associate with a younger person. It does smell, no, but I don't mean old. I mean, this is marriage age woman, established and secure in herself, but also very fully feminine. If any of that makes sense, as I make it up as I go. But I really do feel that. I mean, you know how fragrance is. It's such a there's a really nice guy here on YouTube. There's a lot of nice people on YouTube, but one YouTuber, Richard Keycott, is having a scent memory, and he does this really cool stuff where he talks about the specific memories associated with fragrances. And I think that we all we all have that. Supposedly olfactory memory is the strongest. So supposedly, take what I say with a grain of salt, please, or a grain of sand, or whatever the saying is, because like I'm ignorant, but I'm a fan, and that's not a lie, and I'm enthusiastic, and I love the history involved with this stuff. So this one, L'heure Bleue, was created in 1912, and it was attributed to Jacques Guerlain, but when I looked a little further into who the actual nose was, it was Raymond Guerlain. Raymond Guerlain was the nose for this one. So I couldn't find any other fragrances that he nosed, but there's one. Okay, and now my top 10 what's it smell like? Top 10 what's it smell like for L'heure Bleue, which, by the way, L'heure Bleue, Blue Hour, it was it was created to represent the time after, like when the sun has gone down, when the sun has not yet gone down, but the evening sky has not yet come. Like there's that like twilight time in between. I think it is called twilight actually. That time in between evening and darkness. So l'heure bleue, the blueness of that. Sometimes it's blue. I guess for Jacques and Raymond Guerlain it was blue. So okay, here we go. Top 10 what's it smell like? All right, I'll go from 10 to 1, okay, because that's more fun. All right, number 10. Fragrances that people say smell like my incredible, gorgeous L'heure Bleue from Guerlain. Number 10. Habanita from Eau de Parfum Molinard with 71 votes. That's a lot for it to be number 10. So it goes up from this. Habanita Eau de Parfum Molinard with 71 votes. So number 9, I know this one really well because my mom used to wear this one. Vanderbilt by Gloria Vanderbilt with 99 votes. That's a lot. I think Vanderbilt's a little more green, I think. I haven't smelled it in a while, though. I have not smelled it since I was young. So since I was a teenager when my mom wore it. I didn't really ever buy it for myself, but I do love it. I do think it's a wonderful fragrance. But I was busy with all, discovery of all these other fragrances, but I would definitely wear that one again, by the way. Vanderbilt. That's a really nice one. Okay, number 8. Now, number 8, I have a serious memory with. It's called Cody's L'Oregon. Cody's L'Oregon. And actually this should be number, sorry, I get my numbers confused sometimes. This should be number 9. With 86 votes, Cody's L'Oregon. And I did read, somehow, I found out, because I thought Cody's L'Oregon and L'heure Bleue smelled similar. And I'm definitely not the only one. But here's something interesting. Cody's L'Oregon predates L'heure Bleue. And L'heure Bleue was from 1912. So I remember finding out that Cody's L'Oregon was from before that. And I don't know if, what I read somewhere, and I'm sorry if this is wrong, it said it was the answer to, in response to Cody's L'Oregon, it was created. But that could be wrong. Hodgepodge of information living in my brain. So, yeah, but I definitely feel that it smells very similar. But Cody's L'Oregon has more orange. I can definitely say Cody's L'Oregon is more orange and more green. I think more orange. I'll just leave it at that. All right. That was 86 votes for Cody's L'Oregon. Number 7. Number 7. Number 7. I worked for another company besides Guerlain. I worked for a group of a company that represented, their main fragrance was Oscar de la Renta. So number 7 is classic Oscar de la Renta with 99 votes. Oh, see, look at that. I messed him up, huh? I'm sorry. I have to be better at counting. But anyways, they're up there. They're within like 10 votes. Classic Oscar de la Renta. And I was so pleased because Oscar de la Renta was one of my mom's favorite fragrances. And I was so happy when I worked for Oscar de la Renta that since they gave me a lot of the product, I was able to give it to my mom. And, it was really expensive. I remember at the time, the big one was $100 for the large spray. And I'm sure you've seen it. It's like been around forever. And it was a spray. And And I just remember being so pleased that I could give that to my mom, and I could, like, I could give her, like, I could get her everything. And just knowing that she always smelled like Oscar was, I really thought that was nice, because, it was just cool. So I wouldn't say, I would say that if I were going to say in a way that Oscar smells like L'heure Bleue, I would say that Oscar smells more white florally, but they're definitely the same kind of woman. I would say, like, the same with Oscar de la Renta. I would say a young woman can absolutely wear Oscar de la Renta Classic, but it doesn't really feel like a young woman's fragrance to me. I That said, I'm sure that young women could wear it and it would be wonderful on them. But in terms of how I feel about it, I think it's more of a mature woman's fragrance. But by mature, I mean over 22. Like Coco Chanel. She said that's what Chanel number 22. A young woman isn't mature until she reaches the age of 22. I thought that was kind of interesting. A little Coco Chanel trivia there. Time for L'heure Bleue. Okay, moving on. So yeah, Oscar de la Renta. Yeah, love it. Here's one I don't know. With 162 votes, Cornubia from Penhaligon's. Cornubia from Penhaligon's with 162 votes. Oh boy, do I want to smell that. Okay, number 5, Shem El Nassim Grossmith. Shem El Nassim Grossmith with 179 votes. People thought it smelled like L'heure Bleue. All right. Number 4 is another Guerlain fragrance. L'heure de nuit by Guerlain. So, similar idea, L'heure de nuit, the night hour, with 188 votes for that one. L'heure de nuit from Guerlain. I don't know that one. So I don't know if it's an older one or what, but I know a lot of them, but I don't know that one. So, and that was 188 votes for that. Number 3, moving along fast now. Red Moscow from Krasnaya Moskva Nouvelle Etoile with 295 votes. Red Moscow Krasnaya Moskva Nouvelle Etoile, 295 votes. Number 2, another Guerlain with 347 votes. Après Londe. Après Londe. I think I remember that one, but I could be wrong about that. But it sounds familiar. It sounds like one of them that I would have had back in the day. And that's with 347 votes, also from Guerlain. And number 1, Oscar de la Renta, Esprit d'Oscar, with 328 votes. Number 1, people thought smelled like L'heure Bleue, Oscar Esprit d'Oscar. So there you go. My top 10 list of what's it smell like. Time for dancing. Come on now. Double time. Okay. Oh, my lovely ladies and handsome gents. Thank you so much for joining me for my little brief talk about this wonderful fragrance that's very special to me, L'heure Bleue by Guerlain. I hope to see you next time, and thank you very much. Bye. Ooh. Bumped into an ottoman.